Hi, today I would like to share my study skills in university. I would like to talk about my skills in writing term paper, my skills of preparing exams, and how to balance studying and working. First of all, let's talk about how to do term paper effectively. For me, I will actually use a OneSearch database in my university, and then I will also use Google Books and Google Scholar, and then I will type the command file type PPT near my keyword so that I can search all the PowerPoints about a particular topic. After that, I would go to the library to search books. And then I'll also browse some online websites by typing the keywords and generate different kinds of keywords. And then I will try to search some YouTube videos and discuss with my classmates and my teacher as well. And then I may sit in different lessons and ask sources from senior students. And then I will also search the keywords in Chinese and English so that I can actually have a better picture of what I'm researching. For my citation, I will usually use WorldCat, and I will also like to print my readings out, and then I can highlight them, and then I can read them easily as well. So this is one of the example, and then you can see that I use some table form to store information, and then I use different color to label different stuff, and I have subtitles in my paper as well. So, for example, when I'm doing my psycholinguistic paper, I consult my teacher about the outline, and then I also use the table to collect the information as I showed you before. And then I use different colors, and then I set my deadline quite early. Usually I would set it like 1 week ago. And if you get stuck, maybe you should finalize it and print it out. And then I think you should also have a recycle bin, so that if you find some trivial information, you can pull it in, and then maybe you can recycle it later. And most important of all, you should back up your documents, like in Google Drive, USB, or even desktop or hard disk. And then I think most of the term paper follow a typical structure like literature review, methodology, and so on. So be careful that you should follow that kind of structure if there are any. And then there may be some kind of glossaries that is useful for you to find out the definition. So you may quote them in your term paper as well. Also, when you're doing your term paper, if you get stuck, you may print it out and then you read something and edit, because sometimes it's really nerve-wracking to read the computers, to look at the computer screen all the time. So that's why if you print something out, maybe it will be better. And then you may also change the font size and the color frequency, so you will become less bored when you're doing term paper. And then you may also shuffle between different papers if you have many papers. For example, you may do your psycholinguistic paper, and at the same time you may be doing like a dialect paper. And after doing term paper, I think you should provide it for at least 2 times. You may use some grammar checkers like Grammarly, and then they're really useful. And for studying literature, I will usually use SparkNotes, GradeSavers, and LitChat, and they're really useful. And then I'll also read some summary from Wikipedia, and then maybe I will browse video from YouTube, Facebook, and even in the library. And then I would search the photos of the characters, and then I'll try to come up with the relationship of the characters, and then I would translate the title into Chinese and search it on Google, and then I may watch the movie version of a particular book, and then I will also use find some books with picture description, and then I may use some table or even role play to remember the book in an impressive way. So as you can see, I come up with a comparison table with several books here, and then I would try to find out like the point of view, format, setting, and so on, so you have a really complete comparison table. Okay, now let's move on to closed book exam. So before my exam, as you can see, I will usually make this kind of notes here, and then you will actually see that I make my own notes after every lesson, or I will make PowerPoints or videos to revise my what I've learned. And then after that, at night I would watch some YouTube videos or search some PowerPoints, and then sometimes I would just watch the videos while I'm having my dinner because I think it saves time. And then I will look for loads of past paper or exercises, and I'll try to do them because I think they can help me to revise. And then I would also write some chapter summary, and then it can help me to revise each chapter. And most important of all, I think you should write a one-page summary of all notes, because it may become useful if you want to like have a look of all of the content with a glance, and then it is really useful, and then it saves you lots of time. And then more importantly, I think you should set goals and your timetable, because I usually use a calendar to show what I've studied in one day, and then I usually try to sandwich my time, like I use 15 minutes to study and 10 minutes for fun, like I will play games or have some food. And then I would usually revise before sleeping, because I think sleeping can help us to consolidate memory. And then while you're studying, I think you should write your notes on a piece of paper, and then during this process maybe you're like dictating your concepts, and I think it really helps you to remember stuff. And then you may also film a video to present your content, and it will become more memorable. And method of low side is a really common strategy, which means that you stick your notes in a room, and then you may use some pictures as well, and then you can remember the locus of your notes and the content as well. And then I really understand that it would be quite boring if you study in the library for the whole day, so I think you may study in any cafe or self-study room so that you won't be bored, because I'm a kind of person who will get sick of one place really quickly, so that's why I have to change my place for studying. And then while you're studying, you may use acronyms or some Chinese translation to help you to remember the concept. And if your friends have any problem with the notes, you may also teach them, and then it is more memorable. Okay, now I would like to talk about how to balance studying and extracurricular activities. So actually I have done some internships when I was in year 1, and from my experience I think that you should choose some big companies instead of some small companies. I started to regret because I found that I don't have many big companies in my CV, so that's why I think maybe I should find more companies in a big scale. I think sometimes international internship is quite good, and some mainland internship is quite good, especially some big companies. But be careful of some agents, like sometimes people may upload internship jobs on some websites, but there may be extra cost for that. And then there are loads of websites that you can find a job, like JIJIS, your school career engine, or JobsDB, and so on. And I just want to remind you, April is the peak season of finding government jobs, Hong Kong government jobs. So I think you may actually find some government jobs for your summer. And then I think it's good to become committee members in your school, because it can actually train your communication skills, I think. How about study tour or summer school? I personally think that you may not write them on your CV, so that's why they are put in a lower priority. But if you have time, maybe you can try that, or if you can't find any internship, it's also a good choice, because international exposure is really important. Thank you.